Councilman Murphy?
Present.
Councilman Burnham?
Present.
Councilman Horgan?
Present.
Councilwoman Lewis?
Here.
Councilman Ziprich?
Here.
Councilman Dupont?
Here.
Sunshine Statement, please.
Let the minutes reflect that in compliance with Public Law 1975, Chapter 231, Open Public Meetings Act, that notice of this meeting has been provided by notifying the Asbury Park Press, the Two River Times, and the Star Ledger, placing a notice on the bulletin board and filing same with the Borough Clerk on December 18, 2013.
Thank you. We will now proceed directly to the swearing in of our two new elected officials, or re-elected officials. The first will be Councilwoman Kathy Horgan, who has a little bit of a cold or laryngitis, so she's not kissing everyone today, and that's the reason. So if you hear a slight voice, it's not because she's been inhaling air balloons this morning. That's how she did. But we will have Michael Horgan and Ellie Horgan hold the Bible, and our friend, the Honorable John D'Amico, a son of Red Bank, is going to be doing the honors.
Put your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand and you repeat after me. I, Kathleen Ariana Horgan, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in this state under the authority of the people, and that I will perform the duties of councilwoman of the Borough of Red Bank faithfully, impartially, and justly to the best of my ability, so help me God. Congratulations.
And the second swearing in will be of Councilwoman-elect Burnham. And the honors will be done by her daughters Samantha, Emily, and Kate, who are here, as well as her mom, Carolyn Siebert, is here, and another person who needs no introduction to Red Bank, my former colleague and friend, Senator Jennifer Beck, will be doing the honors.
I, say your name,
I, Cindy Burnham,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear
and that I will bear
true faith and allegiance
true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments
and to the governments
established in the United States
established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority
under the authority
of the people,
of the people,
and that I will perform
and that I will perform
the duties of councilwoman
the duties of councilwoman
of the Borough of Red Bank
of the Borough of Red Bank
faithfully,
faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Okay, we will also, before we begin our formal meeting, have the swearing in, as we normally do, of our fire chiefs en masse. So, Chief Thomas Welsh, First Deputy Chief Joseph Latterwasser, and Second Deputy Chief Chris Soden. There's a few out-of-towners who don't know these gentlemen, very few. However, for those of us who are privileged to know them, we have one of the best all-volunteer fire departments in the entire state of New Jersey. And all three of these gentlemen, okay, all three of these gentlemen are what I call transgenerational members of our fire department. And that means that they're fathers, grandfathers have been part of this department for over 100 years. And what a blessing it is for me and for us on this council to be able to say, not just to the three of them, but also to a future chief, little Jack. Well, you hear me, Jack? Okay. That he is going to be a future chief, as his grandmother back there is smiling. I think it's just wonderful for us to let all of you know who don't know what great men and women we have in our department. And it's been my pleasure for 26 years to have known all three of them in various capacities. So Amber, I know you're going to be holding the Bible, and who's going to be, and Jack, am I doing the honors? Or Commissioner, you want to join me, please?
Absolutely.
Okay, guys. Every year. Since we're doing it en masse, you're all going to repeat your own individual names. It's not going to be hard for you, right? Okay. I. Chris, didn't hear you. Okay. Okay. Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
And the Constitution of the State of New Jersey.
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey.
And that I will bear true faith and allegiance
And I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments
and to the governments
established in the United States
established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will perform all the duties of
and I will perform all the duties of
Chief, First Deputy, and Second Deputy Fire Chief.
First Deputy Fire Chief.
Second Deputy. You got to remember your second Deputy. Faithfully, impartially, and justly,
Faithfully, impartially, and justly,
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Here you go, Sport. Ready? Take care of that guy. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mayor, if I just could comment on that real quick. You know, we were very fortunate to have such great leaders in the borough of Red Bank. I know you expressed this before. That's the very fabric that makes up the town right there. The 3 generations, 2 generations. We're very fortunate. So on behalf of the fire committee, we're very proud of these guys, and thank you.
To the members of the fire department, I know that you have a get-together, so we would not be offended if you wanted to proceed where you have to go. However, prior to us proceeding here as a governing body, I would be remiss if I did not, first of all, welcome everyone, as I think I have at the beginning, But there are some very special people who also devote an extraordinary amount of time, personal time and lives, some of which would probably prefer to be with their families today and their loved ones, but they're here with us. And they are some people that are colleagues of ours in the elected field, and I would certainly welcome a number of people who've been long-standing friends of Red Bank and me personally. First of all, which is, of course, our distinguished, extraordinary freeholder director, freeholder Tom Arnone. Welcome, Tom. My lady in red, who goes to a lot of events with me, especially cultural events, freeholder Lillian Berg. And the one, of course, that we hang around together, especially on before public events and after public events, former mayor and freeholder, presently, Serena DeMasi. The guy who used to sit next to me sometimes and kept me laughing through a lot of council meetings that were boring, but my good friend, former Red Bank resident, and John, I do have a change of address form if you want in the back, freeholder John Curley. Good to have you back, John. Your seat is still warm if you want it.
Appreciate that very much.
Senator Jennifer Beck, of course, you've all seen before, our resident and state representative. Thank you, Jen, for doing the honor. Assemblywoman Caroline Casagrande in the back. Caroline, welcome. Extraordinary public servant who keeps us all safe day in and day out. Does a great job, Sheriff Sean Coleman. Of course, Judge John D'Amico. Former state senator, former freeholder, former councilman, former judge. The man couldn't keep a job. but a great public servant and really one of the legendary, dedicated public servants of Monmouth County. Thank you, John. Former councilman and my grammar school friend and best Greek chef in Red Bank, Jim Janelle. And of course, we're all grateful to have my colleague and friend, the former state president, Senate president, I should say, former Governor John Bennett. John, so having done the honors, I hope I didn't leave any other elected official out. If so, blame me, no one else. Oh, no, that's special. I wanted to permit the opportunity for both of our newly elected councilperson as well as re-elected councilperson to offer a few comments, if you wish. Councilwoman Byrne.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you. I want to thank you all for coming out today to our Red Bank reorg meeting of 2014, and I want to thank my friends and my family and everyone who has supported me before the election, during the election, after the election. And I just want to say that I am so proud and humbled to have been elected by the people of Red Bank to serve on this council, and that they had the faith in me, and they've seen my record, and they wanted me, and I'm going to try to do the job that you put me here to do. I'm just thrilled to be here, and my hope for 2014 is that we can all work together, the council and myself and the people of Red Bank, and we can tackle some issues that are plaguing the people, and the people want change, and I'm hoping that we can give them that change. So thank you.
As you know, I've lost my voice, so my comments will be brief. I'm sure you're all delighted about that. Nobody wants to hear a politician talk. I just want to thank everybody for coming out today, for our supporters and friends during the campaign. It was a hard-fought campaign, but it's over now, and now is the time to govern. I want to echo Councilwoman Burnham's words that we work together, that we cooperate, that we collaborate to move Red Bank forward, to make it the best place for people to live, to work, to open a business. I welcome Cindy. I'm looking forward to working with her and with everyone here on the council. We have a lot of work to do. There is a lot of work. So we, in 2014, there will be issues, as Cindy mentioned, to tackle. And we have a lot of work, so let's roll up our sleeves and get moving. Thank you, everyone, and I wish you a happy New Year.
Thank you, Council President. Mayor, thank you very much. I want to extend a Happy New Year to everybody here today, and I just want to say congratulations to Councilwoman Burnham and Councilwoman Morgan. I know you do a good job. You'll figure it out as you go along. Just want to thank our Chief McConnell's in the room today, and Captain McDonough with a good year with the police department. We had a lot of hurdles to do, and the sheriff knows as well what we went through, and you guys are doing a stellar job. The police department pulled it all together this year, and we as a council can be more proud of yourself and Captain McDonough, so thank you. And I just want to thank our... And I just wanted to thank our 3 incoming chiefs. I'll keep it short. The mayor spoke about it, I spoke about it, but it's so true. We have generations of firemen in this room that we could not do without. Volunteers by themselves, I don't know how you explain all that, but they are truly a breed of their own. They are great people. They're out there every day. Their families understand that. So we need to say thank you to each and every one of our volunteers, to their families, to their wives and kids for lending them to us. We have such a great fire department. I just want to express that this committee, this council understands that, and we appreciate all your hard work. So thank you.
Yes, you know, I personally want to thank the fire department. Picture this, Sunday night, Giants, overtime, wife cooking chicken cutlets. 2 hours later, the oven's not shut off, it's awfully hot, smoking. I called Stanley, I called the fire department. The Giants game's not over with yet, and they bring in the cameras, and we think that our kitchen's going to go up in flames. But you know, you talk about the fabric of the community, and that's what our firemen did. I know the chiefs left, and I personally and humbly thanked them for coming over. I'm in my PJs and trying to watch the game, and we're worried about the kitchen going up in smoke, and they were there within, you know, probably 2 or 3 minutes. Meanwhile, the New Jersey Natural Gas was taking forever to get there. So, you know, on behalf of my family and myself, I want to personally thank the fire department, but also their volunteers. You know, Councilman Murphy makes the point about being the fabric. They are. And sometimes you have to, you know, coming from a military family, I know very many people came up to my father and thanked him for his service. But you have to do the same thing for the police and fire department. They are the fabric of our community, and we rely on them. But more importantly, I also want to wish everyone a very, very happy New Year in 2014. I wish many blessings. I'm glad that all of the Freeholder leaders and Senate leaders are here in Red Bank. Mayor, I know that we were the first in the state to have a pop-up store. It goes to show you how efficient and streamlined business here is in Red Bank. I know the Freeholder also came, and as well as Senator Koulos. It was, you know, part of Grove Monmouth as part of our Freeholder director. I know the speech very well by now, and he does it very well. And a matter of fact, when we speak, we laugh about it, but candidly, you know, the county gave $1,500 to the restaurant Catano's for refurbishing its facade. So, you know, we're in this together. We may have different philosophies, but we're in this together, and I think the need for cooperation is extremely important. And Cindy, I welcome you to the you know, to the dais. Look forward to working with you. Kathy, congratulations, and Cindy, congratulations. We keep in mind that the best interests of Red Bank will all be fine. And then one last comment. You know, Bon Jovi sings about coming home. Well, today we are appointing a new CFO, Eugenia Poulos. Mr. Poulos, she's over there on the left-hand side. If you just raise your hand, Eugenia. She has been, she's the current CFO for Seaside Park. She has been tried by Hurricane Sandy. She has had a boardwalk completely destroyed by fire. And so I told her that barring a natural catastrophe, Red Bank should be a walk in the park. And so Mrs. Poulos, I welcome you. Just a little bit about her background. She has an accounting degree. She has her MBA from Monmouth University. She's also currently serving as the CFO for Seaside Park. So we will be very well served with Mrs. Poulos. And so I just wish you all to welcome her. But again, Cindy and Kathy, congratulations. And God bless, and may 2014 bring you many blessings.
Thanks, Mayor. Good afternoon, everyone, and Happy New Year. I also wanted to wish the state of New Jersey a happy 350th birthday as we kick off this new year. As Mike mentioned, with the Red Bank being the first to host a pop-up store celebrating the 350th anniversary of our state. We welcome that, and I also want to offer my congratulations to our fire chiefs. It's been a busy holiday season. Mike wasn't the only one to have them in his neighborhood. They were in my neighborhood the week before, taking care of a gas leak. And as always, Commissioner, our fire department responds immediately and appropriately, and we're very lucky to have these three new chiefs at the helm in our fire department. And I do want to offer my congratulations to our newly sworn-in councilwomen. We look forward to working together and getting all of that hard work accomplished in this new year. I too would like to welcome all of our dignitaries. Thank you for coming out and celebrating the new year with us here in Red Bank. And especially to thank Senator Beck and former Freeholder John D'Amico for swearing in our councilwomen today. I'm anxious to get back to work to keep Red Bank moving forward. As Kathy mentioned, there's an awful lot of work to be done in this new year, and I look forward to working in a bipartisan fashion to provide all of our residents and business owners the services and activities they have become accustomed to and deserve. This council has worked hard to keep Red Bank a cool little town. Kudos to whoever sent it, Jim. The town's been one of the hippest places to hang for a long time now, and we must continue to work even harder to keep our town visible and viable as our economy continues to rebound. And I wish everybody a very happy and prosperous and productive 2014. Thank you.
I'll be short and sweet. Happy New Year, everyone. And I want to congratulate the councilwomen on their election. I look forward to working with you as well, and I look forward to the challenges that we face for 2014. And I want to thank everyone for being here. And I just want to speak just quickly on behalf of my department, Parks and Recreation. It continues to grow, expand programs and relationships in the community, and I'm looking forward to even more growth in my department. The Vision Committee, which had an outstanding year this year, continues to engage the business and community in celebrating the arts. And in closing, as I always say at this reorg meeting, let's go to work. Thank you.
I know I highlighted a number of dignitaries who were here at the beginning, and I would be remiss if I didn't point out three other very special people, one of which I was going to talk about later, but I know that former freeholder Amy Mallett is with us today. Amy, welcome. And there is one person, not only a very close personal friend, but a dear friend of, I think since Moses came down from the mountain, we've been, we have been in the tilling the toil together, but I can't envision a congressional district without having a congressman like this person. Unfortunately, he is no longer our congressman because of gerrymandering issues. However, that has never kept him from being close to Red Bank and helping Red Bank anytime we needed. The Honorable Frank Pallone. Not only are you your district's favorite congressman, you are also Red Bank's favorite congressman. And we want you back. But in any event, the third person I wanted to talk very briefly about before we do our resolutions is a person whom I've had the honor, the privilege, and the grace to have known since grammar school. He's been a friend, a dedicated worker, and a real red banker. And Councilwoman Sharon Lee is in the audience with us today. Showing her. That she has always had since 3rd grade. A grace that is, no matter what challenges in life, no matter what issues in life, she always is there, personifying the real presence. The real presence is one of somebody who has always been a member of our community, has always lived in our neighborhood, has spoken our language, has walked our streets, and has been a part of this council for many years. She will continue to be a part of Red Bank's fabric in life. She's not going anywhere. She's going to continue living on her street. She's going to continue working in her neighborhoods with her neighbors. And she is going to, whether she likes it or not, being appointed to a number of committees. So she's going to be kept busier this year than she was when she was on the council. Sharon, on behalf of all of us, on behalf of the many people who do know you, and some of those who don't know you, and some of those who don't know how much you really did, quietly and effectively, thank you for your years of service. Thank you for putting up with us sometimes. Part of your family, at times functional, at times dysfunctional, but still part of your family. We love you very much. I love you very much. I'm grateful that you are my friend, and our friendship is not ending. We're going to be here. Thank you so much, and Resolution 14-01, a resolution electing the council president for 2014. Motion.
Make that motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Resolution 1402, resolution authorizing the award of a non-fair and open contract for professional services. Yeah, it should be fair and open, yeah. But it is fair and open contracts for professional services, and the resolution appoints Daniel J. O'Hearn as the borough attorney, Gene J. Anthony as the rent leveling board attorney, construction board of attorney Andrew Walsh, labor counsel James L. Pelosia Jr., Borough Auditor David A. Kaplan, Borough Prosecutor James Nelson Butler Jr., Public Defender Kevin P. Wigington, and the Borough Engineer Christine Ballard. And then there's the appointing resolution certification by the CFO. Funds are available.
Make
Is there a motion?
So moved, Mayor.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution 1403, a resolution confirming the appointments for 2014. Following appointments for 2014 are as follows. Borough Administrator, Qualified Purchasing Agent, Fire Marshal, Community Development Representative, Municipal Housing Liaison Stanley J. Sickles, Municipal Clerk, Public Information Officer, Registrar Pamela Borghi, Deputy Municipal Clerk Bonnie Thomas, Administrative Secretary Doreen Hoffman, Treasurer, Controller, Water Department Chief Financial Officer, Parking Utility Collector Eugenia Polos. Wave your hand, Eugenia. Good. Administrative Officer, Director of Personnel and Planning, Certified Land Use Administrator Donna Smith-Barr, Director of Senior Citizen Center Jacqueline Reynolds, Municipal Coordinator of the Office on Aging Stephen Heck, Council Representative for the Senior Citizen Center Arthur B. Murphy III, Council Representative for the Municipal Housing Liaison Kathleen Morgan, Health Officer David Henry, Director and Superintendent of Public Works, Director of Parking Community Development Alternate Gary A. Watson Sr., Human Resources Manager Eva Ibiano, Director of Parks and Recreation Mamone Christian, Municipal Judge for a 3-year term to 12/31/2016, the Honorable William Hillman, the longest serving municipal court judge in the entire state of New Jersey. Court Administrator Fran Castoriza, Deputy Court Administrator Susan Miles, Deputy Court Administrator Ellen Chuck, Tax Assessor Mitchell Elias, Interim Tax and Utility Collector Alishisha Deshante. Chief of Police, Darren McConnell. Red Bank Emergency Management Committee Coordinator, 3-year term, Thomas J. Welsh. Deputy Coordinator, Mr. Ben Pelt. Deputy Coordinator, Stanley Sickles. Deputy Coordinator, Alan Soden Jr. Deputy Coordinator for the E-Teams, Chris Soden. Deputy Coordinator, Police Liaison, Michael Frazee. First Deputy Chief, Joseph Lottewasser. Police Coordinator, Darren McConnell. Communications OEM, Alan Soden Sr. Hazardous Materials Technician, Joseph Forgione. Emergency Health Care, Robert Heyer. Emergency Public Utilities, Gary Watson. Emergency Health Care, Mark Fitzgerald. Welfare Officer, Jacqueline Reynolds. Public Information Officer, Pamela Fordy. Vincent Light as Information Technology, as well as Bella Erdelgi. By the way, all of those are volunteer positions, just in case you're asking. Board appointments by the mayor to the Planning Board Class 2 member for 1 year to 12/31/14, Stanley Sickles. Class 2 member until 12/31/14, Edward Zipridge. Class 4 member for 4 years to 12/31/17, John Cash. Class 4 member for 4 years to 12/31/17, John Good. Alternate number 2 for 2 years to 12/31/15, Linda Cohen. Mayor's alternate for 1 year to 12/31/14, Michael Anderson. Secretary for 1 year to 12/31/14, Donna Smith Barr. This is for appointments to the Environmental Commission with consent of council. To the Environmental Commission for 3 years to 12/31/16, Louis Demento. 3 years to 12/31/16, Bruce Siegel. Alternate number council representative for 1 year to 12/31/14, Kathleen Morgan. For the Zoning Board of Adjustment for 4 years to 12/31/17, Lauren Nicosia. 4 years to 12/31/17, Kevin Moss. For the unexpired term to 12/31/14, Sharon Lee. Alternate number 1 for 2 years to 12/31/15, Chris Farragine. Alternate number 4, secretary for 1 year to 12/31/14, Gary Cavell. To the Parks and Recreation Committee for 3 years to 12/31/16, Liz Del Pra. 3 years to 12/31/16, Michael Ballard. Alternate number 1 for 2 years to 12/31/15, Mark Taylor. And council representative for 1 year to 12/31/14, Juanita Lewis. To the Construction Board of Appeals, the alternate elected subcode official for 4 years to 12/31/17, Donald Clear. Alternate fire detective subcode for 4 years to 12/31/17, Richard Morgan. And secretary for 1 year to 12/31/14, Donna Collard. To the Library Board, 5 years to 12/31/18, Richard McCarthy. The mayor's alternate for 1 year, Danielle Johnson. Council representative for 1 year, Kathleen Morgan. For the Human Relations Advisory Committee for 3 years, Gladys Bowden. 3 years, Cruz Rollard. Council representative for 1 year to 12/31/14, Cindy Burnham. Secretary for 1 year to 12/31/14, Pamela Borky. For the Historic Preservation Commission for 3 years, George Bowden. 3 years, Edward Pawlowski. Planning Board representative for 1 year, Barbara Boas. Council representative for 1 year, Edward Zipridge. The Shade Tree Committee for 3 years, Bill Brooks. And council representative for 1 year, Edward Zipridge. By council nomination to the Rent Leveling Board for 3 years to 12/31/16, Scott Heck. Board Secretary for 1 year to 12/31/14, Debbie Hall. And council liaison for 1 year, Kathleen Morgan. To the River Center Board is the mayor's representative for 1 year, Stanley Sickles. Council representative for 1 year, Arthur B. Murphy III. The citizen representative for 1 year, Robert Clark. And citizen representative for 1 year, Sharon Lee. To the Navesink River Municipalities Committee for 1 year, Carol Hopper. And council representative for 1 year, Cindy Burnham. To the Housing Authority, 5 years, Reginald Banks. And 5 years, Leanna Hammer. Almost there. Council committees for the year 2014 are as follows: Finance and Personnel, Michael Dupont, Chair, Edward Zipridge and Arthur Murphy. Public Safety, Police and Fire, Arthur B. Murphy III, Commissioner, Edward Zipridge and Michael Dupont. Public Utilities, Street Lighting, Garbage, Water and Sewer, Edward Zipridge, Chair, Arthur B. Murphy III and Kathleen Morgan. Code Enforcement, Environmental Control, Health, Welfare and Building Code, Cindy Burnham, Chair, Kathleen Morgan and Michael Dupont. Parks and Recreation, Juanita Lewis, Chair, Kathleen Morgan and Edward Zipridge. Need some coffee. Education and Technology, Kathleen Morgan, Chair, and Cindy Burnham and Juanita Lewis. And Parking Committee, Arthur B. Murphy III, Chair, and Michael Dupont and Cindy Burnham. Is there a motion on the appointments? Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We move on to Resolution 1404 for the meetings, place for council meetings. Motion?
So moved, Mayor.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And also Resolution 1405 is a resolution designating newspapers.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
And is there a resolution authorizing the 2013 temporary budget?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. That's it for the formal part of the meeting. Normally, we talk at great length for about 45 minutes. As a special request by my colleague Senator Zach, she asked me to keep it to 55 minutes instead. However, I will try to make it brief. First of all, I want to express my very warm and special wishes to each and every one of you for coming today, and wish you all a very happy New Year and continuation of health and happiness, and continuation of your relationship with Borough Red Bank. My first appreciation are to each and every member of the people who serve on this dais and have served on this dais. Each one of you are very, very special people, not because you're above anyone else, but because you've given of your time, your effort, and your interest in devoting so much time, which this does take. So, to the Council President, Art, you are the rock. You've always been there when I can't be somewhere, and I appreciate your stewardship, both in the fire and police department, and your personal friendship with me. So thank you for.
Thank you, Mayor. We appreciate your support.
Councilwoman Byrne, some of you may or may not remember, but she and I go way back. She was, I think, my deputy campaign manager the first time I ran with Mary Ann Panavo. I lost. But that's how far back Cindy and I go, and she has been extraordinarily dedicated to a number of issues, and we look forward to working with you, as the other council people have said, in farming out constructive solutions, ideas, and a roadmap for a lot of our common issues that we all have. So thank you for joining us. Kathleen Morgan has quietly, especially today, but she is very, very effectively and quietly and with much grace been the voice of conscience for a number of our residents on the Red Lebanon Board for many years. She has handled a lot of tenant issues. 1/3 of our population is our tenants. And most of them seniors. We're very grateful that she's been able to do a lot of the heavy lifting, a lot of the heavy work, taking care of those issues, as well as technology and education issues. So thank you, Kathy, for everything you have done over the years and continue to do. Michael Dupont, of course, is the keeper of the purse, the finance director. He has been instrumental in balancing the expectations of people and balancing it with the reasonable opportunities for government to perform and meet those expectations. Everyone wants something, but at the end of the day, you have to be able to pay for it. And sometimes it takes an individual with a keen insight into how to balance things and how to say no sometimes. And Michael has been a fulcrum of a lot of those issues in his stewardship of the Finance Committee. And thank you for not only your intelligence, your friendship, and all the years that you've devoted to our Finance Committee and personnel.
Thanks, Mayor.
Ed Zipridge. A lot of people call him Zip. That means he's probably everywhere at the same time. But in any event, Councilman Zipridge has been extraordinarily dedicated to public works since he's chaired that committee. And he has had the challenge of dealing with a very aging infrastructure that we have, and dealing with a department that has to deal with infrastructures with extraordinarily large costs and meeting the capital expectations that we have. He's done it with a great deal of sensitivity to the needs of our residents, as well as being able to balance our financial constraints. So thank you, Ed, for the Herculean hours and hours and hours that you put to that, as well as shade tree and historic preservation. Your work is much appreciated by all of us.
Thank you.
Of course, we now come to my other friend, Councilwoman Lewis. Juanita is a relatively new member of the council. However, I have to tell you that since she started the stewardship of Parks and Recreation, she has been able to give that department and give Parks and Recreation's issues the passion, the guiding force that it has needed for a long time. She's been able to work with our partners both at the county level, and I appreciate the county's partnership with us, as well as the state in renovating Count Basie Field and working that to a successful conclusion after 50 years of non-work and doing what is now a model for recreation and sports programs for the entire county. Could not have been done without some heavy-duty personal attention, which he did quietly and effectively, and making sure that things were done and making sure that it was done for the benefit of all members of our community. So thank you, Juanita, for your attention to that and everything else. Our employees are an elemental part of our municipality, and it's with a great deal of thanks that I express my appreciation to everyone. And I do so through the administrator, because if I started to mention every employee, we'd be here for the next 3 hours. However, the important thing to remember is that here we are at the beginning of 2014, and I've been on this council for 26 years as mayor and as a council president and councilman. And we are actually working with less members of our workforce today than we were 26 years ago. We've had substantial cutbacks. No matter what you read in the blog sites, by the savants of the blogs, we are working with less individuals than we were 26 years ago. So what does that mean? It means that although everyone likes to pick on public employees, they're actually working more for less. And they're working because they're dedicated and they want to stay. And here in Red Bank, we don't pick on unions. We like our union employees. We work with them. They've been fair with us. I think we have been fair with them. So I know that Senator Beck was on the council when we did most of our arrangements with other municipalities and sharing of services. And we welcome that. And frankly, we would welcome more sharing of services if some of our other adjacent municipalities would like to share with us. Because we believe that effective services can be provided, but at the local government, with the state cap that we have, it becomes very difficult to provide required and expected services of a very diverse municipality such as we have. With a 2% cap, it means that our people working for us, and many times are doing more for less, and combining their staff. Same thing is with our police department. Our police department now is at the same component as it was 26 years ago, actually even less. And yet we have a more diverse community. They're expected to understand diverse cultures and issues that we have in Red Bank that may not exist in some of our other municipalities in the county. And they're dealing with it well. And they are bilingual, in some cases even trilingual, in trying to address the needs of our residents. They're not asking for more money to do what they're doing. They're just asking for support, and we do it, Commissioner. And we went through a very rough time last year while staying and losing an extraordinarily talented, wonderful man who was a personal friend of ours. But we came up with a replacement that is in the mold of Chief McCarthy, that is in the same ilk as Chief McCarthy. And Chief, you're a member of the team. Thank you for being with us all these years. And thank you for your partnership. Fire department, same thing. Enough has been said, but same thing with the first aid. We've had extraordinarily difficult challenges, and I dare say to the freeholders here today that every other municipality in Monmouth County is probably going to have to deal with the same issues that Red Bank has dealt with the providing of first aid services. Everyone expects these services, but the problem is we have a population that does not volunteer or cannot volunteer because of the requirements which the state have placed. So therefore we can't respond as effectively as people want. So we could have closed our eyes and did nothing and let the system fall apart in Red Bank. We said, no, we can't do that because people expect people to respond. So we have entered into an agreement with Monarch to provide services for our residents. And I think so far the final report is out on that, but we're doing a statistical run, and I think it's going to be the model for other municipalities that are very proud of their volunteer services, but you can't provide a run of 700 first aid calls in 1 year in a small municipality like Red Bank and not tire your volunteers and people letters from coming. So we're looking forward to seeing what the results of that is. However, I believe that the net result is that it is here to stay, and it's not going to happen. We can't change it. Again, I mentioned earlier that Councilman Dupont has been very effective with dealing with the 2% cap. We've never exceeded it. Our problem is that when our infrastructure breaks down, as our engineer will tell us, those are not very inexpensive items. We have to open up the streets. We have to replace lines that were built in the Johnson administration. I'm saying not Lyndon Johnson, but Andrew Johnson. And so it's very, very expensive. And then, of course, they might be historical lines anyhow. That means SHPA from Trenton is involved, which raises the price by 100%. But in any event, we are dealing with those issues as best as we can. But the important thing for our residents to know is that even with those issues, we've held the line on capital projects, and actually going into 2014, our interest on our capital debt is going to be less than it was in 2013, which was less than 2011. So it's not that we're accumulating more debt. We're paying for the debt that has been accumulated over time that we have to do. We have to pay, but the interest is going to be less than it was last year, and will continue to be reduced, as well as incorporating road projects, which we have to do because we have aging roads where we space them out. I want to thank Freeholder Director Arnone once again, and the County Engineer's Office for their partnership with us on the bridge project, which is going to be a model project for the rest of the area to see. It's going to be beautiful, it's going to be effective, you're going to be providing open space for us, and with access to the river, and it's first class. And I just can't say how much Tom, as well as Joe Ator, and also with the help of Freeholder Curley, jabbing on the side, has moved that project along, as well as the Shrewsbury Avenue corridor, which provides a second commercial district for us on the Shrewsbury Avenue corridor, and the enhancements are in a good place, as well as the state. I know Senator Beck has been very helpful with DOT on the Route 35 project. Thank you for the enhancements, which hopefully will be coming along in terms of traffic calming. Traffic calming is important for us in Red Bank. We have to keep on working in all of our commercial districts. We have an extraordinary amount of traffic, both foot traffic and vehicular traffic. We welcome it. And as Councilman Murphy always says, slow traffic is not bad traffic. But you know, the protection of our pedestrians is very, very important. And although our traffic accident rate has not been extraordinarily bad, but I think we have to work harder to get our, especially motorists, to slow down in congested areas such as downtown Red Bank. I know that the county was extraordinarily helpful to us on the Front Street corridor. That has reduced the incidence of traffic in the hospital area, which by the county's own traffic counts was one of the highest numbers in terms of pedestrian traffic crossings in the county, has reduced it by 85% in just 1 year because of those enhancements. So it shows that if we work together, we can work together cost effectively to make it work. Our engineer was very helpful. And I think that we have a great future working with the county because we are of the county. I want to thank our commercial partners. We are the hub of Monmouth County. We're the commercial center. Freeholder Massey and I were happy to be part of the pop-up yesterday. And, you know, people talk about development, they talk about commerce, and as if it's cancer. Development is good. Commerce is good. Let's stop treating these people like they're an anathema. Development creates job opportunities. It puts people to work. It keeps our economy going. And if we can help it along and be more business friendly, that's what we have an obligation to do. We have an obligation to streamline the process, to make it easier, and I think we can do it. We are, I think, in many ways successful, although again, the savants and the blog sites keep on saying that Red Bank is difficult to do business in. And when you look at the files in terms of what they're complaining about, the reason why sometimes it's difficult to do business in because the person who filed the application didn't sign any of the papers, so you can't do any business. But in any event, the commercial vacancy rate in the county is 15%. That's the average in terms of commercial vacancy rate in most other municipalities. And the commercial area of Red Bank is under 5%. So I think we're on the right road. I would like it to be 0 at some point, but you know, we're going to keep on working at it. It's not a perfect solution. And I want to thank River Center for, and I know James Scavone is here, and all of his colleagues and volunteers who keep us competitive, who keep us going. And despite some people have been reading a lot on the blog sites again that there's too many things that are coming into Red Bank in terms of commerce, and somehow government should control what comes in. I disagree with that. Let the market control it. If somebody wants to invest $1 million into downtown Red Bank by opening up a restaurant, let them do it. It's their investment. They'll put people to work instead of government telling there are too many restaurants, or there are too many arcades, or there are too many commercial buildings. So I think that we have to be open to let the free market do what it does best and let it decide what is best. So we're going to continue in that same footprint. We're going to continue working, hopefully, pushing some of our legislators to assist us in what is the biggest problem in the bank, and that is not spending, but reduction in the tax flow. And that is the increasing numbers of not-for-profits that are taking up more and more of our spaces. And time really has come for the pilots to be undertaken. Some responsible not-for-profits are doing it, such as Count Basie across the street, and others, but increasingly they don't want to hear it, and unfortunately Red Bank cannot continue to be a magnet for not-for-profits. Our rate of tax-exempt properties is hovering at around 15%, and the county average is less than 4%. So we have to work on that together, and I'm confident we can do it. Going into 2014, there's going to be, with the cooperation of Count Basie, again, I'm extraordinarily grateful to Adam Wilson, one of the most creative individuals that we've seen at the Count Basie. He and I have been talking about launching very, very soon a Mayor's Arts Commission to deal with enhancements of public art in Red Bank that has already been committed to Red Bank, as well as arts projects that will be long-standing and will be repeat projects that will enhance our tourist, cultural tourism down there. Red Bank needs cultural tourism. We have to work on it. We're going to do some more. And Adam is instrumental in getting that together. And also, for the first time, we're going to be starting, hopefully in the early part of the spring or late spring, a non-political mayor's ball, modeled after what Industry Magazine has done at the promenade at the Molly Pitcher, which will be a fundraiser for three groups. One will be for Parks and Recreation Program, the other will be for the fire department, and the third will be for the library, to keep our library services going. And the reason I chose those is not because Red Bank has been cutting back on library assistance. We do what the state tells us to do, but the equalized ratio of tax valuation has gone down, so our remittance consequently goes down. So by doing that, I think we can help three worthwhile groups in our community enhance their outreach to our local people. So with your help, and we'll work on a lot of different projects together, but again, I think we can all do it in a warm, working relationship. We're going to agree to disagree. We're going to agree to agree. But whatever we do, let's do it in the spirit of civility, let's do it in the spirit of camaraderie, and let's have fun doing it. So having said that, I want to wish you all a Happy New Year. Is there a motion to adjourn? Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.